Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome to AppSex online support program. Well, today's revision tutorial will be in continuation from the chapter number 1, which was the medieval world, rise and fall of the Roman Empire. Pages are from number 7 to 10 and the resources required: course book, computer or laptop and internet. Students will be able to learn about the factors involved in the fall of the Roman Empire. They will also be able to describe the powers, responsibilities, and significance of the feudal system. The thought of the day for today is quite self-explanatory. That is, don't worry about failures. Worry about the chances you miss when you don't even try. Students, before we go towards our revision, you must understand that before every chapter or the revision of the chapter, I always give you the highlighted words over there with a different color, and that is for your own good. You take the meanings out of them and learn them properly so that it will be easy for you to understand or comprehend the chapter. Today we will going to talk about the fall of the Roman Empire and the factors involved in that fall. Why the Roman Empire declined. So let us review those factors. The government became corrupt and a power struggle started. The decision of Constantine to move the capital to Constantinople weakened the empire. The Church of Rome gained unlimited powers, even more than the emperors. The army became weak, ultimately weakening the empire internally and externally. Heavy taxes made the lives of the common people miserable, which led to chaos in the empire. Provinces rebelled against the government and declared their independence. Barbarians and Huns from Central Asia attacked and destroyed much of the empire. The ancient Greek and Roman civilizations were the most advanced civilizations of their time. Both contributed a great deal in the fields of science, engineering, architecture, government, philosophy, etc. With the fall of the Western Roman Empire around 500 CE, the scientific and cultural development of Europe stopped. With this decline, Western Europe entered the Dark Ages. Now let's shed some light on the origin of feudalism and the medieval Europe. The feudal system in the medieval Europe societies was a political, economic and social system developing during 10th to 13th centuries. It became common during 11th century. The feudal societies were divided into 4 social hierarchies based on local administrative control and distribution of land: the kings, the nobles, the knights and the peasants. Each hierarchy was linked to the other in different ways. The kings. The kings were at the top of the hierarchy. They owned all the land, but as it was not possible for them to control the entire land by themselves, they kept some part of the land for themselves and gave the rest to the nobles. The kings provided help and support to the nobles and protected them to avoid rebellions. The lands were given in different parts of the country. The nobles were responsible for providing soldiers for the king's army, especially during war. Then comes the tenants. The tenants in chief or nobles. The rich nobles were granted land by the kings. They had their own system of governance, taxation and law. They minted their own coins. The nobles were supposed to protect their lands and the people who work for them. Different officials were deputed to keep a check on the workers and peasants. There were checks and balances to regulate the whole system. Knights. The knights, also called lesser nobles, were considered the representatives of the powerful nobles. To attain knighthood, they had to follow a code of conduct known as chivalry. The knights had to be loyal to the nobles and the church. The nobles sublet their lands to the knights, who in turn granted the lands to the peasants on lease. If the knights did not perform their duties well, their titles were revoked and their lands were taken back. Then comes the peasants. The most important group of the feudal hierarchy were the peasants. They worked on the lands given by the knights. The peasants were categorized into 2 groups: free and bonded. Free peasants cultivated the rented land and paid the lord. The bonded peasants worked on their lord's lands and in turn they were given a small piece of land to farm and live on. They supplied food to the knights. Of the chapter, let us also review some important facts. Medieval lords and wealthy merchants gave large amount of money to churches and monasteries. Some wealthy people paid to have special chapels built where priests could pray for their souls to go to heaven. The chief characteristics of feudalism. Feudalism was a dominant and complex social system in the medieval Europe. There were different types of relationships in feudal societies, especially in medieval France and Germany. In England, feudalism evolved in its own ways. Different terms were coined for different kinds of arrangements. However, certain features were attributed to all societies in medieval Europe. Number 1. The kings received taxes, military aid, and sometimes food from their vassals. The peasants in return were protected by the crown. This system was based on the rule of give and take. Number 2. The lands were not given at one place to avoid the threat of rebellions, which brought peace in the empire. Loyalty was very important in this system. Number 3. All parts of the feudal system, from the crown to peasants, depended on each other. The king was answerable only to the church. Number 4. The church was also granted a large piece of land. Since the church was an independent institution, it did not pay tax to the king. Another important fact. The three-field system was practiced during the medieval period of cultivation. Each year, one field was planted and other two were not, so that the soil could rest. The remaining two fields were used as a pasture where the farm animals grazed. This rotational cycle ensured that each field was rested and a good crop yield was achieved year after year. It ensured that the land was not over-cultivated. Now, after discussing all these points, it leaves us to the end of feudalism. From 14th century onwards, feudalism began to weaken due to the following reasons. Number 1, the Black Death spread throughout Europe, killing more than a quarter of the population of Europe in 1347 to 1352 CE. Since the crisis caused severe shortage of labor, the bonds of feudalism weakened. Number 2, the growing power of monarchy and nobility led to rebellion by the peasants as they wanted to liberate themselves from the chains of feudalism. 3. By the end of 13th century, commerce evolved and coin money was established. Hence, specific local lords could pay money instead of performing military services for the king. 4. Trading activities flourished and the peasants moved to the towns where they were free to make a living of their own choice. And number 5. The nobles became weaker, hence their land and power was lost. The soldiers were paid wages and a centralized government was established. The end of Roman era is directly related to this plague. The Black Death plague was brought to Europe by the Mongol invaders. Most historians believed that it was caused by germs that infect black rats, and the disease spread to humans by the fleas that live off these infected rats. It is also possible that due to poor hygiene, the disease rapidly turned into an epidemic. Whatever the truth, the causes of the plague were not identified because of lack of knowledge about germs at that time. Today's task that pertains to the chapter comprises of 10 fill in the blanks. You need to fill up these blanks in your notebook. Today's moral is, live in such a way that if someone spoke badly of you, no one would believe it. That means you should be sincere, loyal, and upright not only for other people but for your own self too. In that way, even if someone falsely accuses you, people may come to your defense and testify your innocence. Today, until next time, stay safe, stay home, and listen to your parents. Allah Hafiz.